and Downtown Metropolitan Planning. We are joined by Councilor Driscoll, Councilor Latoya Allen, President Hudson, and I'm pretty sure Councilor Hogan will be back at some point. Councilor Hogan is back. We also have Auditor Maroon, Director Rudd. I see Dave Mekowitz is on, and Jerry Dallas. And so, Dave, I mentioned similar. You guys ready to go? We can get started, and then if colleagues have any questions, we'll ask questions toward the end.
Okay, well, thank you. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Crouse Marshall Business Improvement District is also a special assessment district, and the special assessment district operates in the 100 block of Marshall Street, the 700 block of Crouse Avenue, and also in the adjacent blocks on Adams Street, University Avenue, and Waverly Ave. And within that district, we provide primarily additional maintenance and security services. Our budget display, if you have the same document that I saw online, starts on page 228 and ends on page 234. And the highlights really, as you can see from the bottom line on the first page, 228, the special assessment levy is assessed on all the properties within that district, including the private properties, the properties that Syracuse University has within the district, Crouse Hospital has within the district, or Crouse Health, the Sheraton. Those are all, they all pay into the special assessment district for Marshall Street. And the total assessment is $93,750. That is the same amount that was assessed out for the last 2 years. As you can understand, when the board, even though there's still inflation and cost increases, when the board met this year, they recommended that there not be an increase in the special assessment. As you can understand, last year, of course, was a very difficult year for all the businesses in the district. This year, of course, we're just starting to work our way out as things are slowly reopening. And so we felt that this was not a year to ask for any increase in the assessment. So we've made limited budget reductions instead. And then just to walk through the categories of expenditure, the two largest areas of expenditure are environmental maintenance. Yes. Oh, all right. Someone have a question?
No, I believe that may have been an error. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay. The two largest area of expenditure are environmental maintenance, and you can see the personnel costs are on page 233. So that comes to $29,545. We have one person who works full-time year-round in the district, and their job is largely to clean it up every day, to flush the sidewalks, plow snow, remove graffiti, and also take care of the weeds, water the planters. So they do that work year-round. We do have, when we need it, an additional person come up to supplement that work, particularly with something like flushing sidewalks. You really need a couple of people up there doing it. And that just covers their salary and benefits, and the additional and some limited amount of overtime are within that line. The actual on page 231, you find all the cost of the things that they have to do. We have equipment that has depreciation charges, but we also have horticulture. So those are the planters that we buy. Operations and maintenance is just strictly what it sounds like. It's the gas we use. It's the items that we use to operate on a daily basis. Special projects that's money set aside for repairs and replacements within the district. The city of Syracuse matches what we spend on repairs and replacements. And generally, those will tend to be something like a tree's dead, there's a broken tree grate, and we replace it with FlexiPlave. Bricks have a tendency to pop up, they get put back down. So anything, trash cans, anything like that, there's a split in cost every year between the city and the CMBID to replace and repair those items. And there's a trash dumpster donated. Mr. Dellis is here. He's our president. He actually donates the dumpster. So we do have to record, even though there's no charge for it, we have to record its value. And we use that dumpster when there's overflow trash situations. Usually, of course, City of Syracuse comes through and takes care of the trash cans for us at DPW. But as you know, there are peak times on Marshall Street where we need to go and pick up a few extra trash cans ourselves, and that gives us a place to put them when those peak times happen. The second biggest area of expenditure is security, and that is covered on page 232. We have a security officer who works. We contract with the downtown committee for that security officer, but pay for all their time that is spent on Crouse Marshall. They work 5 days a week when the students are there, a full-time schedule. They work 3 days a week when the students are not there. So during the summer and the vacation times, we will cut down to 3 days a week. And it covers the cost of the officer, their benefits. Of course, security insurance is expensive, so we have to pay for the coverage for our liability in those operations. And there's some miscellaneous expenditures, you know, for uniforms and their equipment and things like that we'd have in the operations. The security officer, really, it's a patrol within the district. They go talk to the store owners, they talk to the students. Their job is really to be the eyes and ears up there. They communicate with Syracuse Police Department, have a great relationship with SPD. And then also we have the support of the security teams of Syracuse University is right there, the Department of Public Safety, Crouse Hospital, upstate. So they communicate all the time with each other on any issues that may spill out into the public streets. So our officer works with them. The administrative cost, which is covered on page 229, the administrative personnel is for at the time of an administrative assistant and finance. And so that goes at about $500 a month. And we also get a supervisor, a maintenance supervisor, who overlooks what our maintenance person is doing on a day-to-day basis. My time is contributed to the district by Center State CEO, so there's no charge for my time and engagement up there. The audit's done annually. That's because these are public funds. We want to make sure there's an annual audit. Fuss Charles Chambers does that audit for us, and so we do that every year, and we supply that to you with the annual report. Office expense, again, is miscellaneous expenditures, usually for, you know, just paper, envelopes, things like that. And insurance covers general liability for our operations within the district, as well as directors and officers liability for all the members of the board. Marketing. The marketing expense typically is fairly minimal. We have $750 in there, and we have a series of banners that are on the street that we have to put down and pick up and clean every year. We do publish a brochure and put that out there, and we have a website. But this year, it's not reflected in this budget because this came after we submitted the budget. You know, the city of Syracuse made available money through the Syracuse Economic Development Corporation for promotion of small businesses and business districts. and we secured $20,000 through that SEDCO program for basically advertising and marketing of the district as we're reopening and the services that are offered. So that 20,000 will that will show on our financial statement, and we're putting together an advertising and marketing program to support that. So that's going to be a major effort that's going to be conducted this year, and certainly we appreciate the support from the city of Syracuse and the Syracuse Economic Development Corporation, because that is a major need as places are reopening to try to bring back the customers. So with that, that's kind of a quick description. I'll stop there. Jerry, do you want to add anything?
No, other than we do have 100% participation. Never, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think any money is ever owed from any property owner.
Mhm.
So we've always had 100% collection. Did that come through, Dave?
Yep, I heard it.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that was it.
All right.
All right, thanks, Dave and Jerry. Any of my colleagues have any questions for any of the members or for Dave for Crouse Marshall? No questions? Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Auditor in the room, city clerk, you guys have always been intimately connected to this process.
Yeah, nothing's really changed in 20
Right.
years.
Right,
Well,
right.
one of the things we are doing though this year is we're because, as Jerry mentioned, it has been 20 years. We're starting onto a strategic planning process to take a look at all the services that the district is offering, what we need to offer in the future, how we think the district is going to change. So we're starting to get an understanding. How's Syracuse University expect to change in that area? How's Crouse going to change? How's the businesses likely going to have to change? So we're going through that effort, and that may result in some changes in our proposal in future years.
Mhm.
Understood. Councilor Hogan, Councilor White, anything?
Just maybe, and maybe I probably forgot this, but procedurally, how does it work, David? How's the assessment collected?
Right.
We collect it and then we cut you a check?
Yes, it's Pat, it's the same as the way the downtown committee works. We make the proposal on the budget, goes to the mayor puts it in his budget, which he has this year. There were no changes to it. Obviously, it goes to the council for approval. Once the council approves that, then based on a formula that's very similar to the downtown formula, the city assessment department then bills out. And Jerry, you'll have to correct me. I'm trying to remember if it's twice a year or 4 times a year, but they bill out the assessment.
It's on the school tax bill, so it's quarterly.
Okay, so it comes out 4 times a year, is billed out to the property owners. And when, of course, then that money is paid in, there's a separate Crouse Marshall Business Improvement District Fund within the city. So all the revenue goes into that. And generally what we do is submit a monthly invoice, which is generally whatever the assessment is divided by 12, and send that over to the city for payment. And so that's how it operates.
It's a lot more complicated than I remember it, but it's a lot more complicated in my age now, I guess.
That makes 2 of us, Pat. Don't give it away.
I know. We've been talking for years, but this is another example how much that area is improved through the efforts of not only the businesses up there, but the Crouse Marshall, your association and everything else. It's just amazing when I look back 25, 30 years, what that area looked like and now what it looks like. It looks terrific. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that, Pat.
Well, Councilor Hogan, many things have changed since the Civil War.
Oh, Jesus.
But I want to just acknowledge the John and Jerry, your dedication to the area. And I had the pleasure of working with you all for eight years or so when I was on the council. And thank you for your continued support. It's a wonderful area for our students and people. You know, I was born in Carthage, New York, and a lot of people from Jefferson County, Oswego County, they come to the area because of the hospitals. And of course, the university. But you all take such pride in representation and David's commitment to you over the years. It's a win-win for all of us. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Nader, for that.
Yeah, Nader, I appreciate that. I think, Crouse Marshall, downtown as well are examples of, I think, similar efforts we can make in other neighborhood business corridors at some point. When you talk about having the kind of supports that businesses need to sustain themselves, but also to maintain those areas, and improve those areas, not only for the businesses, but for the adjacent communities. These are great examples. So I second what Councilor Maroon and Hogan has said. Any further questions or comments before we vacate the virtual premises for a short time? No. Going once, going twice. All right, gentlemen and ladies that are present, appreciate your time. Jerry, you had something?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
if there's nothing
Jim
else.
IT is on the same link in 15 minutes, 14 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So thanks a lot, everybody. And for those who'll be here, see you in 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Bye.